Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to walk through how to create interactive content for Elementor and for WordPress in general. I'm going to walk through two separate methods, one that requires the Elementor hotspot widget, and the second method includes a standalone WordPress plugin called Draw Attention. So to get started, here is my demo site, and this is a website for a hotel in Paris. And if we scroll to the center of this page, we have a section for exploring the city of light, and I have this currently set as a plain flat image, so none of this is interactive, but as you can see it's numbered and I have the city of Paris sectioned off into the different areas of the city, and so I would like for this to be interactive, and if somebody selects one of these sections, to show more information. And so let's go ahead and get started. So first method is going to require the Elementor hotspot widget, and again this is only available in the Pro or the premium editions of the plugin and not the free one. So I'm going to head over to the Elementor editor, and let's go ahead and scroll to the section that I had pointed out. So here we have Explore the City of Light, and I'm going to go ahead and remove this image, and instead of the image I'm going to display the city map with the hotspot widget. So let's drag that into place, and first thing, here is the hotspot widget settings. So we have a content area, we have the styles, and then we have the advanced, but the advanced section doesn't have anything unique to this widget, so we're not going to walk through it in this video. Here in the content tab we have the image settings, the hotspot settings, and then the tooltip settings. And so starting from the very top, let's go ahead and select our background image, or the main image here for our hotspot widget, and I'm going to choose that same Paris map that I had before, and I'm going to leave the image size and alignment as the default, but you're welcome to select a different size and then change the alignment. Next we have our hotspots. Here we have item number 1 set by default. If we click into each hotspot item, you can see that we have a content section as well as a position section, and if you'd need to add any more, you can click add item and that will add in a second hotspot. You can also use the duplicate button to easily copy paste the same hotspot over and over again if you need to just reuse the same icons and such. If you look here at the bottom side, we also have animation. You can choose from a few different animation styles, and you can also use sequence animation in case you need to set a specific duration to each one. All right, so let's walk through creating a hotspot. So in the content area of the hotspot settings, you'll see that we have a label, we have a link, we can select an icon for this or upload an SVG icon. We can set a custom size for our label, and we also can set custom tooltip content. Some things to keep in mind: if you insert a link, you cannot use the tooltip content for the specific hotspot. So for my particular example, I'm just going to go ahead and opt out of using a link and opt out of using a label. I just want to add an icon to create interest on my image. So I'm going to click the icon library, and Font Awesome provides a few different map options. And I'm going to actually use this map pin, and I'm going to insert it. And for my tooltip content, I'm going to take a sentence straight out of the wiki page for my first section or my first hotspot. So here I'm going to copy this first sentence just as a demo or an example, and I'm going to copy it back into place here. One thing to note about this method is that it's best for really small snippets of information, or if you need to create a quick link to another page. This doesn't handle large pieces of tooltip content very well, but it does do really well with adding quick icons or if you need to do quick links. Next, let's put this into place where I want to create interest in my image. So I'm going to go over to the position tab, and from here, I'm going to slide this into place so that it's right here next to my 1 for this particular section here at the center of the map. We have here a horizontal orientation and a vertical orientation slider. If you slide back and forth, you can see already that my pin is sliding to the left or right of the image. And then for the vertical orientation, you can see that it slides up and down. So let me slide it into place. So now I have it in my desired location. Now here in the same positions panel, I can assign custom properties that will only apply to the specific hotspot. For example, where the tooltip pops up in relation to my hotspot icon, as well as the width of the tooltip. And if we don't set these, each hotspot will default to the general hotspot tooltip settings. All right, so now that we have our content in place and our position in place for this particular hotspot, I could go ahead and add more hotspots if I want, but for the sake of this tutorial, I just want to show you the rest of the settings and show you how my single hotspot looks in the end, and then we can move on to the next method. As far as the animation, I think I'm going to go with the soft beat just because I think that's a lot more visual. Next, I'm going to the tooltip settings, and right now I have it set to trigger on click, but I'm going to switch over to hover because I think that's easier to test here on the in the Elementor editor. And I have a few options here, so I can choose the position of my tooltip in relation to the icon. I'm going to leave it at bottom, and then I can choose how my tooltip animates, whether you want it to fade or grow or slide, and you can also set the animation duration. So right now when I hover on my icon, I can barely see the text on there. So I'm going to go to the styles, and we're going to go through and adjust a few settings. So my image, I'm not going to touch the general background image because I think it looks good as it is, but you can change the width as well as the height. You can change the hover opacities, or you can add custom CSS filters from here. You can also adjust the borders and shadows. Next, in our hotspot styles, you can see we can change the color of the hotspots. For example, I can choose this teal color, and I can also change the size of it. If I were using the label settings in my hotspot, I would be able to change the typography from here. I can also change the width and the height, as well as add some color to the box around it. Next, we'll go to the tooltip settings, and this is actually what's going to help us see our text, because right now all our tooltip content is in white text with no background. So let's change the box colors. So here under where it says box, I'm going to change it to this gray, darker gray. So now when I hover, now I can see the text that I added for my hotspot tooltip content, and I can go ahead and also change the color of the text, the typography, how it aligns within the tooltip content box, and I can also adjust the tooltip box width, padding, border radius, shadow. So now that I have my hotspot widget set up, let's go ahead and preview how this looks on our website's front page. So here on our front page, you can see that the hotspot that we've added to our Paris map is beating, and if we hover over it, we'll see the sentence we added as the tooltip content. Now, I won't go through and add the rest of the hotspots for all the other sections, but I hope this gave you a good idea on how you could create interactive image content with the Elementor hotspot widget. So the next method I'm going to show you is a standalone WordPress plugin called Draw Attention. This doesn't necessarily require Elementor, but it does still work very nicely with it. So I'm going to show you how to use this and also show you how to add it into the Elementor page. Going back to our demo website, after installing the Draw Attention WordPress plugin, you'll be able to navigate to the Draw Attention tab here on the left-hand side. Just a quick disclaimer, this is the Pro edition of the plugin. If you're using the free version, this still should work with Elementor. You're just limited to using a single image map. Here under our Draw Attention tab, for the Pro edition, I have the option to create as many image maps as I want. So here are the images I've made so far for this website. And if I want to create a brand new image map, which I will here in a second, I can use the tab here on the left hand side, add new, or I can use the button at the top of this page. So just to give you a quick idea of a finished Draw Attention image, I already have this Paris map set up. So if we click view here, we can open up a new tab and we can see the finished product of what we could create. Again, this isn't going to be a full tutorial. I'm just going to create a new interactive image with Draw Attention and create my first hotspot, just to give you an idea of what that process looks like. Here I have each area of my map drawn out, and I can click into each one and bring up a lightbox with the title, the hotspot image, as well as a little bit more information about each area of Paris. And the plugin offers a few different layouts. This is the lightbox one, but you can also do a tooltip, as well as show the information to the left, top, right, or bottom of the image. So let's go ahead and show you what that process looks like. I'm going to go ahead and add a new interactive image. I'm going to enter the title. Next, here under the image tab on the right hand side, I'm going to select that same Paris map from my media library. And when I have that in place, I'm going to go ahead and click publish. It's not going to post the content anywhere on your website. It's just to unlock the hotspot area section here on our editor. All right, so right off the bat, you can see that there are general settings here to let you modify the image background color, the title color, text color, more info background color, as well as the text that goes into the default more information area. We also have the highlight styling. You can do the highlight color, the opacity, the border color, border opacity, border width. You can also show the hotspots by default, and you can define multiple styles. So if you want to show different colors for each highlight area. Here in the hotspot area section, we'll be able to add in our hotspots for our image. So by default, we have a clickable area number 1, and you can add in as many hotspots as you need, but let's go ahead and open the hotspot editor. Here in the hotspot editor, we have the drawing tool. We also have the title, the action description, and detail image. So let's start from the top. Here in the drawing tool, I have a few different buttons here on the top left side of the image. We can zoom out, we can zoom in, and we have a few different drawing options. So here we have a polygon tool, we have a square or a rectangle tool, and we also have a circle tool. So you can zoom in if you need to be more detailed with your drawing, or you can zoom out to get an idea of what it looks like from far away. But let's start with our polygon tool. And clicking into that polygon tool, we have a few new buttons. One for finishing the drawing, one for deleting the last point, and one to cancel the selection. You'll see that we have the option that says click to start drawing the shape. So here we're going to start drawing our first area, which is area number 1. And if I need to be more detailed, I can always zoom in while I'm drawing as well and start outlining the area I want to highlight. And once I'm done, I can either finish by clicking this first point, or I can click finish. And if I want to edit the shape I've just drawn, I can click edit layers, and I have the option to move the points around or add in more points by using these little gray boxes. And when I'm done, I can just click save. And if I need to delete them, I can always click this little trash can button. And let me show you the rectangle option really quick. And that lets you draw a rectangle. And the circle tool, of course, lets you create circles and edit them as well. So now that you've drawn your hotspot area, you can move on to editing the title. And here in the action area, you can select if you want to display more information or if you want to take the user to a URL if they click on that hotspot area. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and show more information. And for the description, I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste straight from the Wikipedia. And the cool thing about this method is that you can add in a lot more content and it can handle it very nicely. So here in our description, I'm going to go ahead and paste this information in. And if you need more room in the editor, you can go ahead and drag that down. And you can also add in an image. So after you fill in all the information, you can continue to create more hotspots. But just for the sake of this demo, I'm going to move on to showing you all the other settings. Down here, we have the option to apply a color scheme. You can choose from all these options here, and it'll automatically fill in the highlight and general settings for you. For example, if I select the Draw Attention theme, it's going to ask me if I want to overwrite my current styling, and if I select OK, you'll see that it automatically fills in some of these colors. Next, we have the layout. This is going to let you select how you'd like to display the information. We have 4 options that are going to display the content relative to the image. For example, if you want on the right-hand side or if you want to display it on the top. And then we have the lightbox option, and we also have a tooltip option. And some of these options are going to let you show the information on hover or on click. And here at the very bottom, we have the shortcode. So this is what we're going to use to display our interactive image on our pages. So heading back to our front page, select Edit with Elementor. And we're going to remove the hotspot widget, and instead we're just going to add a plain text widget, like so. And we're going to paste in our shortcode. And here on the number 1 section, I can click it and it will open the tooltip. And since we already have a finished interactive image map, I'm going to show you what it looks like on the page as the finished product. Now, the other cool thing about using Draw Attention is that you can actually paste in Elementor templates into the content area. For example, if I head over to my templates page, and I've already set up this section here, and if we view it, so I've basically just built out this section with similar information to what I've pasted in before, but you can build out custom content, custom sections, and simply copy over the Elementor template shortcode. And if we head back to our Elementor image, and let's go ahead and paste in the shortcode for this. And if we head over to our front page again, we can test out our new hotspot content. So I hope this was helpful. Please feel free to reach out to the Draw Attention support team if you guys have any questions, or feel free to try out the free Draw Attention plugin. It does give you a good idea of how the interactive image editor works and how the image maps will look on your website. And thanks for watching.